Hey everyone, so this is like a very common question. A lot of people keep asking me, "Ki, how much money do I need to have to quit my job and then go full time into trading or investing?" Right? So in this video, I've tried to answer that like a few other doubts also a lot of people have. So let's get into this because there is no one particular figure that you need to make so that you can go full time into trading, because many people say once you start making money more than what your current job is paying you, then you can quit. So it is either that, or I would explain it in my way. So we'll look at a few different things, that is, quit once you know how to make 20% in a bear market. So why is that important is because you can't rely on, let's say your monthly expenditure is close to a lakh rupees, right? And in the bear market you can't be losing money and also spending that money, like withdrawing some money from that trading account or your investment account to run a house, right? So you should know how to make 20% in the bear market. Now a lot of people will tell you that it is impossible to make 20% in the bear market, because if you look at this particular thing here, from 2018 we kind of went down from almost 9,000 levels on the small cap index to 5,500 somewhere in the mid of 2019, right? But then you would also see that it was not a straight line down, right? So you fell, then you bounced to 10%, again you fell, bounced some 7 8%, then you fell, and then here, from here you bounced like 10 15%, then again from this level you bounced again 15 20%, right? So you should know how to play those bounces in a bear market, right? In the bear market you can't be continuously invested. Why? Because the whole market is making a lower low lower high, right? So in that, what happens, a stock will fall to 80, then bounce to 90, from 90 it falls to 70, from there it bounces to 80, so it keeps on making lower high and it keeps on going lower. So in such a situation usually you would not be an investor, like, and you would rely more on trading to play these short bounces and make decent amount of money, a minimum of 20% on your capital, right, in that bear market. So you can either do it looking at how the charts are, or the best way that I usually tell my students, like even in this bear market of 22, right, where we were going down, even in that many of the students were able to make like 15 20%. How? By making use of the data, you would know when the big guys are also buying, because it's eventually the big guys who buy around these levels and then push it up 15 20%, correct? So when they are doing it, we kind of tag along with them and make that 15 20% even in the bear market, right? So once you are comfortable, or let's say confident, of making this 15 20% even in the bear market, then that is point number one. The second point is, make sure you're able to meet all the expenses with whatever you make in the bear market. So let's say you have been making just 15% in the bear market, but is that 15% good enough to run your house for the whole year? Because let's say there are two different people, one spends like 2 lakhs every month, the other guy spends hardly 50,000, he has his own house, hardly 50,000. So it is going to be very different for both of them, correct? So one guy is just spending like 6 lakhs a year, one is spending like 24 lakhs a year. So if that 15 20% whatever you're making in the bear market is able to kind of make sure that all the yearly expenses are covered in that, then you're good to kind of quit your job and go full time into this particular thing. So it depends on the initial capital, because let's say your yearly kharcha is close to 10 lakhs, right? Whatever it might be your kids education, insurance, all that is covered in that. So if that expense is coming to around 10 lakhs, and let's say you have a corpus of 1 crore right now, then, and you're comfortable or confident of making 15%, so you'd be making 15 lakhs, right? So 10 lakhs in a year is your kharcha, so that means you're still making 5 lakhs extra, so you'd be in a comfortable position to quit. Whereas in the opposite case, let's say your kharcha is close to 30 lakhs but you're only making 15, then your capital is going to decrease, right? Because you would be kind of taking money out of that portfolio and using it for your yearly expense. So that is not a great thing, because you don't want that capital to go down. So you want to keep that capital constant, and whatever profits you make in that bear market, you would want to run the house with that particular money, right? So that is one more thing that you would want to keep in your mind. And the last but the most important one is, many people quit their job at the peak of a bull run, right? So the peak that you see here, right? Why? Because they would have made like very good money in the last 1 to 2 years, and they're very confident. Like new traders who have like 2 3 years of experience, they kind of jump into this thinking that it is easy money, you can easily make money in the market. So they jump in at the peak, because usually at the peak in this final melt up, it's like crazy money. You probably make 20 30% in a month or two, and you start to think that it is very easy to make money in the stock market. So you quit your job, go full time into this, and then the bear market starts. And it is very difficult in a bear market. Until and unless you know how to play a bear market, it is going to be extremely difficult to manage everything, your household expenses and stuff, when the markets are continuously going down. So like you can see here, the market cycle kind of predicts the economic cycle, right? So that is why, as you are very aware about how the economic cycles run, right? So you have a expansion phase and then the contraction phase. That is why even markets go up and markets go down, but markets kind of predict that even before the economy starts to move up. Like if you see here, the accumulation happens and then the market is actually moving up even before the economy is moving up, correct? And then the distribution starts and the market starts to fall even before the economy makes a peak and starts to fall, right? So this, if you understand and know how to play it, usually around this accumulation phase is the time you would say, I would throw in my paper and say, okay, I'm done with this, I can get into the market full time. Or let's say a little higher here, once you are very sure the bull market had started, and it usually stays for 2 to 3 years. So in that 2 to 3 years, whatever corpus you're having, let's say your karcha is like 10 lakhs and you already have 1 crore, because in the bull market in that 2 3 year period you end up making 100% or even higher, because the whole market is extremely bullish. And usually that is like the minimum you do in a crazy bull market, right? Even the mutual fund would end up giving you that kind of return in 2 to 3 year period during that run, right? So then once the bear market starts, you would be having like enough capital to make sure that even if you make 10 12%, you would be able to sustain your lifestyle. So these are a few things that you would want to have it in your mind. And right now, where we are, right, we are nearing the peak of this economic cycle, right, and even the market cycle. So this would not be such a great time to kind of quit your job and go full time into the market, because we would be going into a recession or a markdown phase probably in a 3 or 6 month period, right? Looking at how the global economies are shaping up, right? Hopefully this helps. Thank you.